You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare, huh?
That's the prime time, bitch!
Nothing like a strangulation to get the circulation going.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
This house is clean.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth. I am pain.
Hello, Fright fans. It's your main man, Eddie Monster here, and we have another special edition of Eddie Monster's Reviews. That's right, the show where we review films. That's right. Various monster movies, horror films, slashers, all of that nature. All right here. Yeah, that's right. I do awful impersonations. You'll get it. But yes, seriously, thank you for tuning in. If you clicked on this, you are tuned in. I want to thank all of you. You are all greatly appreciated. And if you can just hit that subscribe button, you'd be even more appreciated by yours truly. That's right, as we keep trying to pump these out as much as we can. Other thing, too, for those of you out there, you're going to notice, right in that corner, always get it wrong, but right in that corner, that is a QR code. I am trying to save a movie theater in my hometown city of Attleboro. It's called the Union Theater, and I basically want to get it up and running so that we can do a kick-ass horror film festival. That's right, to maybe even try to get films like the one I'm reviewing for today. That's right, people, because today is when I saw this movie. Depending on when I actually get to put this out. I watched it on Cinco de Mayo, and I figured why not. It was a Spanish horror film called Rosario. There you go, right? And I had no idea my movie theater even had it. I went there thinking I was going to go see a different movie, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my Lord, they have Rosario. And I quickly switched my ticket, was like, can I go and see this? They're like, you're the only one that's going in there. And I said, perfect. 8:35 at night, being the only one in there, perfect. That means no distractions from any runts, that may try to go see the latest horror film. But, yeah, nonetheless, this one was directed by Felipe Vargas. It's a film that follows I hope I'm saying her name right, first of all. It's Emeraude Toubia. I hope so. If I butchered that, I apologize. But she plays Rosario, the title character. Now, basically, Rosario is a successful New York Stock Exchange person. I don't know what they call those, stockbrokers. There you go. And everything in her life is going right. Even though she comes from humble beginnings. Everything in her life is just peachy until one day she gets a phone call, and that will change everything. That's right. She gets a phone call that her grandmother has passed away. Now, her grandmother was into some deep shit, let me tell you, and there's a big past, so Rosario is going to have to face the demons of her family as she spends the night during a snowstorm waiting for I don't know if it's the paramedics or whoever takes bodies. I think it is the paramedics. So she basically has to wait. And in the meantime, she deals with the cast of characters. That's right. One of them being David Dastmalchian. I love him. He is a fantastic character actor. And one of the main reasons I even knew about this film and wanted to see this film, he plays her very sick neighbor named Joe, who she also has to deal with because, all the guy wants is his fucking air fryer, so get it to him. But yeah, she has to face the demons because unfortunately, wealth and success come with a price. And like the $1 Million Man used to say, everybody's got a price. So, let's talk about it. It's your typical horror film. If it's your typical, let's deal with voodoo and ghosts and spells and curses and all those kind of things. It just has it just has a Spanish flair to it. You know what I mean? I did, however, look up Palo Mayombe, which is apparently, so like anything, right? In witchcraft, there's Wicca and there's black magic. Wicca being white magic, so it's the beautiful side of things. And then I believe in the Spanish culture, there's Santeria, and then there's this Palo Mayombe, which is the darker side of things. And apparently, people make deals in Palo Mayombe to either keep souls, so to speak, or to have some sort of like good fortune kind of thing going on. And unfortunately, as you watch the film, you're going to learn that she begins to learn that, her success ultimately came with a price. But one of the things I did like about this, it was the idea that we think everything is safe at one point, right? And she's done her thing, and we're like, cool, right? Movie's over. And then there's a twist, right? And then another twist, a little bit. And it kept things interesting. Otherwise, where it just was not really intriguing me, because I feel like once you've seen one of these movies, you've seen them all. I do appreciate, however, the special effects were fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, I loved a lot of the things they were doing with it. The makeup department deserves some good credit on this. Very, very creepy spirits, I guess, if that's what you want to call them. Whatever they may be. And I think his name is like the Cambaye or something like that. He's like I don't know. If you're watching the Conjuring films, that main spirit they're always battling. There's always, one like Valak and the Nun. That's what basically he is in this one. And like I said, again, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. But this one is instead of, having to go and get a nun or a priest or something like that, it's Rosario has to end up embracing, this past that her family has, and she in turn has to tackle this head on to try and relieve everything. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. But again, like I said, I feel like once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. And I think that's the kindest I can be saying that. I looked to Rotten Tomatoes for this film, and it got a decent score, I want to say, critic-wise, which was a 70%. But you, the fans out there, didn't really give it a fair score. You gave it a 46, which is pretty bad, and I can't say that I disagree. I just think it's a little I think it's a little harsh. I think it was a little bit better than what people would say, but according to this person, not good. Couldn't wait for it to be over. Almost walked out. Full of generic jump scares. Terrible dialogue, which is not the actress's fault. Dark imagery intended to scare, but fails. Nonsensical storyline, on and on. You will understand after watching. Don't be fooled. There's some things in there, like obviously you're watching a movie, okay, that is about spirits. Obviously, there's going to be dark imagery. They're going to try for jump scares. They're going to try for all those things. You know what I mean? I don't think it's as awful as people make it out to be. But again, does it stand out in the crowd? Not really. One thing I will give it, though, they've always been able to capture this, and I don't know why, right? Maybe it's, something inside all of us, right? But when you see old people and they're foreign, there's nothing more freaking scary than that, right? I remember the old woman in Drag Me to Hell, Rosario's grandmother in this one. I mean, so on and so forth. I think we're just, when we're kids, we're like terrified of old people. I think. I don't know. But with that being said, I definitely think you should check it out. It's going to be on demand and all online soon enough. I like to support indie horror. I like to support just about anybody. If it's a horror movie, I support it. And you know what? I made my way. I went out to the theaters, and I had a great time. Always a fun time going to see the movies. Doesn't matter what. And with that being said, I'm giving the movie a B- for a final grade. So thank you guys so much once again for checking out this clip. Again, please subscribe to the channel. We are trying to put out like tons and tons and tons of stuff. Don't forget to check out that QR code right there and, give it a scan. And hopefully, I mean, even if it's just $1, we appreciate any amount. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.